if you are a movie director,
Right.
working with Fuad would be the most infuriating thing on the planet.
You start recording and he's like,
Could be.
Every day you come on set with a gun and you shoot him. Every single day you shoot him, send him to hospital, wait for him to get better, bring him back, shoot him again. Just
yeah.
yes.
Yes.
So wait, are we talking already?
Yeah. Let's continue like this.
Is this thing on?
Yeah.
So been a week.
Dinner.
How are you guys doing?
I am doing very good. How
Very
about you, Johan?
I'm doing good.
Alhamdulillah.
I am not.
Why is
Oh.
I don't know. I just
Yes.
life is weird.
Oh. Again, live.
I just feel off. I don't know. Anyway. So people have been releasing very many
Yes.
things lately. Gaming consoles,
Yes.
phones, everything. You go to the mall, ads everywhere.
Yeah.
I've seen people buying like 10 different PS5s and then selling them online for like several $100 extra. It's just a weird thing. I don't know why people do that anyway.
Yeah.
And also what I don't understand is why people have to get like the PS5 on the day it comes out. So story time. There's this guy we work with in the office. His wife works for Sony.
Okay.
And one of our former colleagues called him and he was desperate. He's like, dude, I need the PS5 and I need it now. So he's like, why do you need it so bad? If you wait a week, it'll be back in stock. He's like, no man, you don't understand. I have to get it and I have to play it and I have to get it now. Why does it have to be day one? So eventually he pestered this guy so much, this guy called his wife and they organized a PS5 for him.
Okay, that's nice. PS5, I genuinely understand because I missed, because I was up until 12 o'clock and then the site just crashed.
He's one of them.
You can call me one of them. So the site just crashed for like 2 hours, man. Then I fell asleep. Next day morning I wake up, it's out of stock. It's out of stock everywhere. But why it's out of stock is what you said. People buy like 10 consoles together and they try to sell it at a higher price. And so PS5, I understand it. Why? Because the PS6 will come after 6 years.
Oh yeah, consoles probably understandable because consoles take a few years before they upgrade.
Exactly.
But mobile phones which come out annually, sometimes even biannually, I don't understand this rush to buy a new one.
Yeah, correct.
Like, why do people think I had, last year's version? Now, exactly 11 months and 25 days later, I have to get the new version. Like, what's the rush?
Well, what's the rush in buying
That was a
something?
very heavy.
Yeah. So it's actually different.
Yeah.
I can say from country to a country.
Yeah.
Talking basically on where we are
Yeah.
and what we have experienced. People wants to buy whatever new.
Oh, okay.
Just that. I mean, if there is anything new, they just want to have it. They just want to have the latest thing. Even though maybe there is little thing difference, only maybe small thing different between the previous year and this year, but still they want to have the always up-to-date device.
So it's more of look at me, I have what's new, rather than they don't look at it from a utilitarian point of view. They don't look at it from the point of how can I use this versus I just want what's new.
95%.
And the problem is it's the pressure. Like you see the ads everywhere. You see your friend using the latest foldable phone, and you're using a phone with a cracked screen. And then your friend will ask, "Your phone is." I'm using a cracked screen phone, and people ask me all the time, like, "Why are you not?" I'm like, "It's working. It has a cracked screen. It doesn't cut my finger, and the touch works perfectly, and it works."
So it's more of social pressure. There's another version of it that I've seen online on Twitter, where there's this Twitter for Android.
Right.
And the connotation that people think is, if you have Twitter for Android, you're poor. You're using a cheap phone.
Right.
So one time, someone told me that, and in my head I was thinking, yes, I have an Android phone, which costs $2,000.
Yeah.
It's more expensive than any iPhone on the planet.
Yeah.
But I'm poor.
It doesn't make sense.
Like there's so much pressure just to have certain brands, what's new, just spend money. And man, kids are going crazy.
Yeah.
Kids are killing themselves for all these things. They just want to spend money they don't have. just so they can have, the latest and then go on social media and show off to your friends.
Yeah.
The companies are making a killing out of it.
Yeah. No, the in the other side, are these tech companies, are they controlling it?
Of course they are.
See,
Bet.
it's
No, are they controlling the consumption of people? Means,
Of course.
this year they have supplied 2 million devices. Next year they are going to supply another 2 million devices. What will happen to the last year 2 million devices? Where it goes? Are they controlling that?
the e-waste. Yeah, that's a big problem.
You mean the e-waste and all of that?
Yeah.
I think e-waste is one of the biggest problems in the world right now. But there are these companies that have figured out how to do recycling. So they can strip the motherboards and strip the gold. And,
Apple actually does that in a very high level.
Yeah,
like they even have like proper robots just to take off just to split the gold and stuff, and they reuse it. So that's a good thing.
But never trusted anything they say.
Okay.
Not one single time. If there's one company on the planet that I will never trust for a single day, it's them.
Okay. makes sense.
No, seriously. It doesn't matter. My employer notwithstanding.
Yeah.
Them, I just don't trust.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting theory. But that's what they say, and which is a good thing. But there's also a problem like this. Like if you look at cars, in my country, like in here, we see all the new cars, right?
Yeah.
Everything is new. In my country, you see all the old cars.
Yeah.
Same thing with electronics. Like people are using the latest iPhone
For
12.
so many years,
Yeah. In Sri Lanka, the iPhone 10 or the iPhone 11, everybody is dying to buy iPhone 11. And all this waste is coming to countries like our countries, and we don't have proper recycling.
Oh, by the way, there was a story, I think 2 years ago maybe. The UK had shipping containers full of waste.
Yes.
And this waste was being shipped to somewhere in Southeast or South Asia. And I think it ended up either in the Philippines or in Malaysia. And the leaders of those countries were just like, why are you bringing trash to our country?
Yeah.
Take it back where it came from.
Yeah.
And the ships had to turn back and go to I think it was from the UK originally.
Yeah.
I remember that story. So e-waste is a whole other problem with just buying electronics you don't need.
Because in my country, as Johan said, like people, it's hard for them to buy something new.
Yeah.
It's hard means
Income,
income, and it's expensive, and people stick with buying that affordable devices.
Yeah.
Because you don't have that much money to spare.
And it's not easy way of payment.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Here, you can have a credit card. Yeah. You can walk in and buy, let's say, a 20,000 dirhams devices, items, right?
Yeah.
Whether the latest PlayStation, latest TV, latest phone, right? 20,000, and then installment at how many? Let's say 12 months.
Yeah.
Right?
So
Next year, all done, all paid. And you have used the latest technologies for one year. Yeah. What you have to do next year again, you have to do the same thing, because it's easy payment. Yeah, easy way. Like in my country, it's really hard, and you will rare to find that installment. And if you want to buy like something the latest, very expensive, you have to have like a bag of money.
But then Johan also mentioned something interesting. You're saying in Sri Lanka, it's very common to find people using older technology or older devices.
Yeah.
Same thing in Kenya. It's very common to find someone who's still using an iPhone 6, for example.
Right.
Here it will be considered ancient.
Yeah.
Like finding an iPhone 6 is, I think, next to impossible.
Yeah.
You can't find it anywhere. I have a 3-year-old car. It's literally 3 years old from the date of manufacture.
Right.
I feel like it's the oldest thing on the planet.
Correct.
Like when I drive it, I'm like, man, I need a new car.
Yeah.
So it's the same thing with the technology.
Yeah.
So companies also, there's something called planned obsolescence.
Yeah.
Where these gadgets are designed to fail after a certain amount of time. The reasoning is very simple. The more of these phones you buy, the more of these TVs and everything you buy, the more the companies that manufacture them make. Because let's say you buy a phone and you keep it for 5 years versus you buying a new phone every year. It means if they get $1,000 from you once every 5 years, or if they can get $1,000 from you once every year, they'd rather get $1,000 from you every year.
Yeah.
They're making more money. So even these companies are guilty of making things that break so easily that you just can't use it for long.
Mm.
So yes, there's the rush to buy all these things, but then the companies also have some of that blame falls on them. They just don't build durable things anymore, not like they used to do. I remember back in the day, if you got a coffee machine, you'd have it for many years. You'd probably hand it down to your kids. Now you buy a coffee machine, 1.5, 2 years later, you need a new one.
Warranty is 1 year. That's it.
It's like they're telling you, dude, after 1 year, you're on your own.
Yeah.
We just don't care anymore. If something happens to it, your problem.
Yeah.
Then again, the social pressure. Social pressure is where my biggest problem is.
Well, yeah.
You know, when we just pushing it out so much to have the latest stuff, and it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
Like, what if I have a 2-year-old phone? And then
As you said this, you know, my dad purchased the phone. I remember his first phone, not a smartphone. Yeah.
back in the Nokia days.
Yeah, Nokia phone. It was Nokia phone, if you remember, 1100.
1100,
Yeah. So it was a blue, I remember, normal screen with buttons. He used it, I think, for 5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, for 5 years, and it was working fine. And still at home, it's working fine.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I just purchased for him a Samsung phone, not smartphone.
Yeah.
If you remember, touch screen.
Yeah.
Very small. He used it, I think, for 7 or 8 years, and it's absolutely fine, working like zero problem. Until today, he still has that phone. I purchased for him a phone, I think, 2017. We are in 2020, like beginning or very soon 2021, like almost 4 years, and his phone, I swear, it's completely new, zero scratch, and he's using it absolutely fine.
Yeah.
So there is something missing.
Yeah.
Because if you think at now, kids are running and buying stuff, and they just see it online, and they just want to get it.
Yeah.
They don't care about what they have.
Yeah.
Maybe still working, maybe still in good condition, but still they just want to have that latest thing.
That's right.
And you said pressure. It's just a
social
pressure, right? So there is something wrong which we need to look to, right? Because as a consumer, for me, like my personal opinion, if I have a smartphone, unless that smartphone will get like broken into pieces, I will never buy anymore.
Yeah.
The consumerism is also partly to be blamed on social media.
Yeah.
Remember, I think we've had this discussion at some point in our many conversations. Social media, if I go on social media right now and I post a picture of me holding the latest phone, it gives me social points.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, look at this guy, he has the latest, whatever. If I don't have that, I feel like I'm missing out on something. If I see someone else with it, I feel like, you know what, I have to get that. So then I put all this pressure on myself because I've seen people on social media, my friends have the same phone, now I have to get the same phone. It's just, and like you're saying, your dad, our parents don't have this. They don't have this kind of social pressure.
Exactly.
They are fine using the same phone for 7 years. Like,
exactly.
it's not broken. Why should I fix it?
It's working.
In fact, you are the problem. You're the one who's buying him a new phone every 4 years.
Correct.
Stop pressuring your dad to change his life. So,
I remember a quote from this movie. I think it was Fight Club, where he says, "We buy shit that we don't need from money that we don't have
to impress people we don't necessarily like."
I remember that at some point. I watched this at some yeah.
So it's that you just I mean, even if it's money you have, do you have to spend it? I'm not saying go give your money to anyone. Even if it's your own money, fine. But do you really have to buy something that you don't really have to replace?
Correct.
You know?
Yesterday I was in a mall. I was walking morning, and then wherever I go to any electronic shop, there is a queue.
For PS5?
Yeah, PS5. And then in the mall, I was in the mall until 8 p.m. So from time to time, you see someone just holding that big box and walking. They didn't even give you a bag, or you just want to show that I got the PlayStation 5.
I've seen that. Look at me, I have the PlayStation. I've seen so many people posting on Instagram. Now I don't have a life anymore because I'm going to be stuck on my PlayStation 5. I'm like, yeah, you have a life. I know you. You have an 8 to 5. Stop lying to people. You'll be going to work next week. So it's just, I don't know, man. It's horrible. How much is the PS5 anyway? It's like what, $800?
$2,099.
2099 for
Good
the
price.
disc.
It's about $800, right?
That's a. okay, I'm biased.
Oh yeah, you're a
No,
PlayStation.
it's a
person.
good price, I can
Yeah,
say.
it's a very good price.
Buying 2099 for PlayStation and you are going to use it for the next 5 years. So much, very much worth it.
It's value. I remember I bought a PlayStation 4 for my friend's kid back in the day.
Yeah.
It was my friend's kid's birthday, and I just decided to buy him. And he just I think it was like turning 15 or something. So I just bought him a PS4, which he's still using now.
Yeah.
And apparently it's working absolutely fine.
Yeah, even mine. I bought the PS4 on the first day, and to date, even today morning, I was watching Netflix on it, and it's working fine. So that PS5 I understand, but phones.
Yeah, spending 5,000 for a phone every year. That's something that people need to
Forget
think.
phones. I have a TV.
Yeah.
It works perfectly fine. I don't even watch TV that much.
Yeah.
But every time I go to, I walk into a Samsung store and I'm like, I think I should buy a new TV.
The QLED.
Yeah, I'm
8K.
like, wow, this 8K, this is the shit. I should get myself one of these phones.
Yeah.
And then when you think about it, you don't actually have 8K content to watch on it. Right?
Forget 8K. The thought that usually comes to my head is, what am I going to do with the old TV?
Yeah.
Where will it go?
Yeah.
If I had a way to dispose it, then maybe I would have thought about that.
Yeah.
So one thing that I think companies would do, which would be very good for recycling, is if they accept you can trade in your old devices. So you have a phone, bring it, we'll take it back, you pay the difference, and then whatever they do with the phone, they have the capacity to recycle.
Yeah.
I don't have.
Correct.
I'll probably just throw it in a landfill. I have a bunch of smartwatches sitting in my drawers.
Yeah.
I have 3 smartwatches which I don't use. I have a phone, an S9, which has never been used, not once. It's just sitting there. So what am I supposed to do with it? So it's this whole thing. All I can say is don't spend your money on things you don't necessarily need.
Yeah, exactly.
Actually, this topic we got it from one of your friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone who.
Yeah. Someone suggested after watching our previous episode on hair a week ago. So I think keep bringing more suggestions. We'll be more than happy to discuss.
Definitely, yes.
Yeah.
We'll be more than happy to talk. And someone also told me that every time I talk, I have a way of tilting my head. Is it true that I tilt my head when I talk?
I don't notice.
I don't have optical image stabilization. So anytime I'm talking, my head is like, who else used to do that? Bill Clinton. And he used to do it when he was telling a lie.
So you're lying all the time.
No. Maybe. It's classified.
It's classified.
So all the time his head would be sort of tilted inside. I don't know, maybe it's just natural. I think I'll start sitting like one of those super healthy, super
I
fit people.
tilt my head if I want to understand something. So if someone tells
And
me
he does
something,
this.
I'll be like, yeah, maybe.
Anyway, gentlemen, final thoughts?
Don't spend money for something that you don't need it. If you need something, then buy it.
If you have a link to buy the PlayStation 5, please DM.
Yes, run.
Stay in school, eat your vegetables, drink milk, wear a mask, and see you next week.